Why, hello everybody. My name is Weston, and today I'm going to show you how to use NotADoctor.ai. Over the past couple of months, we've made quite a few substantial improvements to the application. 2 months ago, the app really wasn't used by anybody at all. Didn't have a lot of utility. However, today, we have quite a couple of things to show you that I'm super excited about, and maybe you are too. Over the course of this video, you're going to learn a couple of things. One, what I want you to know most. And what I want you to know most is that if you set a health goal and upload and connect records, your app experience is going to be much better. If you have one thing that you take away from this, it's that if you onboard properly, you're going to get a lot of great experience out of the app. I'm going to go into how to get the most out of other features and other things that we have inside of the application that you might not know about in this video. Feel free to skip ahead. I'm not there to watch you skip past me ramble over a bunch of things. But I'll try not to waste your time. Let's get started, and I'll give you a short rundown of what you can do in the app in the first couple minutes, and then I'll get into more specific details about what you can do with it and why we implemented some of the features that we did after that. So as everybody onboards to the application, I think that there are two incredibly important steps that you should take to get the most out of the experience in the application. First off, if you set a health goal, it'll steer and cater the content of the application to exactly what you want to fix, what you're curious about, what conditions you might have. Additionally, if you upload records, it would really make this application a worthwhile experience, and you can do that by, one, manually uploading something. If you have a lab test, if you have records from your doctor that you email them about, if they don't have an online portal, this is the place to upload them. You can drag and drop or choose the files. Additionally, the way to get a lot more health information is to connect to all of the healthcare systems that you've been a part of. Could be a hospital, could be your primary care provider. They likely have an online portal that we connect to, and all you do is log in, and all of your records come in here. After that, we process them and make them a bit more readable to the large language models, but those are the two onboarding steps that you should take to get the most out of the experience. After you do that, you can chat with the large language model using those records as context. You can see that I have 145 medical events here. You can use tools like the Find Interventions tool and the Check Interventions tool to find randomized controlled trials that might be relevant to you, that you might want to read. You can also look at your health profile again, and if you have any lab data that you've uploaded, you can see that data, see what's out of range, see insights about it. And additionally, you can go to the Actions Ideas tab, and you can see what medical tests you might want to take and talk to your doctor about. You can go to the Questions tab, where you can find really specific questions you might want to ask your doctor, or go to the Specialist tab, where we give you ideas about specialists you might want to see and questions that you might want to ask those specialists that are hyper-personalized to everything you've brought into context to the application at that point in time. That's onboarding in a nutshell. I'll give you a bit more granular details in just a moment. So now I'm going to show you in a little bit more detail how I would onboard to the application if I were a first-time user and what I would do to start using the features and learn as much as I can about health insights based on my profile. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set a health goal. So if you go to the health profile section and the goals tab, you can add a health goal based on what you want to do in your health, what health goals you have, what might you be curious about, what symptoms you have, or any concerns that are most pressing that you want to steer the application to the most. So here I'm going to add a health goal. So here I've added a health goal that I have some lower back pain, my hairline is receding a little bit slowly, and I would like to learn what supplements I might be able to take based on the blood test that I'm going to upload here in a moment. So after adding a health goal, you're going to want to upload or connect to some records. So in the Records tab under the Health Profile section, you can collect your records, which connects you to the online portals of tens of thousands of different healthcare institutions in the United States, and you can manually upload records by dragging and dropping or choosing files from your computer for the records that you want to upload. So to upload records from your computer, it's as simple as just choosing files, finding the file inside of your computer that you want to upload. Let's see, John, lab results. And then I'm going to open this and then asynchronously without you having to do anything. It's going to extract all of the health timeline events from that record that is going to be brought into your health profile. In addition to manually uploading records, a really important thing for you to do is to collect your records from medical institutions that you can log into. So if you click Collect Records, it will pull up a modal, and here you can search for the health systems that you've been a part of in your life. They might be hospitals, doctors' offices, healthcare institutions of some regard. There are tens of thousands of them in this connector that you can connect to. You just have to search for them with their correct name. So I'm going to look for San Francisco Department of Public Health, and I'm going to log into their portal, and it's as simple as this. So it's going to pull up. It's going to pull up this login, and then I'm just going to log in with my normal credentials. I'm going to give it permission. I'm going to click continue. I'm going to say, okay, you can use all of these. You can use them for up to 1 year, and I'm going to allow access. And then after you click continue, it's going to start synchronizing those records with our system, and soon they'll be available, like within 5 minutes if it's a really large record set, inside of your health profile, and you'll be able to see those there. So now at this point in time, onboarding is essentially complete. We have all of our records uploaded, we have our health goals set, and we can start to use all of the cool features. So you can see those records as context here, and you can start chatting with them. Like, I'm going to ask it, what do you know about me, to see what has been brought in as context. What do you know about me? And it'll just tell you what it knows about you. So here it shows that it knows that I have signs of an iron deficiency, etc., etc. Additionally, you can start to look at your health profile section to learn more about what insights are already there, and if you've uploaded lab data, you'll be able to see that too. So now that we have a bunch of records uploaded to this and health goals set, we can go to the health profile section and see a couple new things. So first off, you're going to see a health summary of everything that the application knows about you at this point in time. Additionally, you can see line-by-line timeline events which have been scrubbed of your personally identifying health information like your name or your address. If those were on medical records, those will be removed in here, and you'll be able to see every piece of information put into chronological order that gets fed into these large language models every time you chat with them. Additionally, if you have lab data, you'll be able to see insights for them for all of the different categories of lab data that you might have, what might be out of range, and you'll be able to read insights about how they might relate to other areas of your health. Like for me, it notes anemia could contribute to your fatigue and might indirectly affect your back pain through reduced oxygen delivery to tissues. Interesting insight. You could also chat about these in the chat. If you copy pasted this and put it in the chat, it would have the awareness to delve into this much further if you're curious to know. So that's the Health Profile tab. Now I'm going to take you over to the Actions Ideas tab and show you what's being generated there. So on the Actions Ideas tab, we have a couple of different things that have been generated for you to read. First off, we have a list of medical test ideas that you can bring up to your doctor that might be relevant to finding out what's going on in your health, that you might be curious about, or might relate to your health goals in some way. So these are listed in order of relevance that you might want to get done. So sometimes insurance will cover these, sometimes you might need to pay out of pocket for these, but bringing these up to your doctor might provide justification of why you might want to get this done, or let insurance be able to bill for it so that you're not having to come out of pocket for it. So it notes why this might be related to all of my other health conditions and what I might want to do given the outcomes of this test if I went and I got this test done. There are a bunch of different tests listed in here. And then additionally, we have a tab for the questions that you might want to ask your doctors. So these are all incredibly specific questions that kind of combine different parts of your health profile that you probably want to discuss with your doctor. And we list out a couple of questions here, or you could just email the doctor by copy pasting this message and sending it to them if you have an online portal or have their email address. Additionally, we have a tab for specialists that you might want to go see. So we are going to give you ideas about what specialist you might want to go to and questions that you might want to ask that specialist if you end up going to them, to really cut right to the chase on what might be going on in your health so that you can get the most out of that appointment with the doctor, so that you can discuss these ideas that you've learned inside of this application with a real medical practitioner that would update them on your health profile quickly and make it kind of easy for them to figure out what's going on under the hood. So now that we have onboarded and looked at all of our profile sections to see what content was just generated in the background, now we can get into the real use of the application, which is chatting and running deep research queries to find interventions and check if those interventions might hold weight in helping us in our health. So the first thing I'm going to chat about is perhaps my chronic fatigue, brain fog, and trouble sleeping. So I could say, I have brain fog, trouble sleeping, and chronic fatigue. Might these be related? Might these be related? And then I submit. So then the large language model responds by saying, hey, these probably are related. You have an iron deficiency, and there's a sleep fatigue cognition cycle that can lead, poor sleep can lead to fatigue, which can impair brain function. And then it's going to start asking me questions to learn more about what's going on in my life so that it can make smarter ideas in this chat experience. So I can say, yeah, I've been having these for 6 months. Yes, dietary changes only. And I can submit that, and we'll see what it does. So it's going to keep asking me questions to figure out what's going on. What dietary changes have you made? Because I noted that I did. I've been eating more red meat. And which symptom impacts you the most? Perhaps chronic fatigue. So then in its response, let me just read this. It's going to keep asking me questions and giving me good information. So it says that even though I'm eating red meat, which is an excellent source of heme iron, which is much more easily absorbed than plant-based iron, I show severe signs of iron deficiency, and there are other iron absorption factors like tea and coffee or calcium-rich foods, interesting, which might inhibit iron absorption. So you can continue to chat and learn and figure out what insights you have, or you can just ask general queries about your health in the chat interface, pretty similar to an experience with ChatGPT or Claude. However, we will continue to learn more about you inside of the application based on what you respond in these questions, and those questions will not be forgotten in future chats, unless, of course, you delete that chat. So then the final feature after just basic chats that I'm going to show you is the use of specific deep research queries that you can run using the Find Interventions tool and the Check Interventions tool. So I'm going to start a new chat. You don't have to, but I'm going to find out what interventions might be relevant to brain fog. So as it researches, it's going to be looking for only randomized controlled trials that have shown efficacy for dietary interventions, supplement interventions, lifestyle interventions, or drug interventions. And you should and can explore these sources. They're going to pull up like research links to articles, maybe the abstract is available, perhaps the whole thing, where you can read more about what other people did that seem to have helped in their brain fog. So it shows here that the Mediterranean diet was very helpful for brain fog. Interesting. Omega-3 fatty acids, very helpful for brain fog. Additionally, cognitive intervention with potential supplementary components. I would have to read more to figure out what that means. And targeted lifestyle interventions like exercise and dietary improvements were very helpful for treating brain fog. So that's a way that I can find interventions for a specific condition, health goal, or biomarker that I want to change. However, I'm kind of curious about omega-3s being used for brain fog. I want to find out what other research is out there for brain fog and omega-3s. So I'm going to start a new chat. I'm going to check interventions, and I'm going to say omega-3s for brain fog, and I'm going to send that off. So this pulled up a couple studies showing that 2 grams of DHA, however much DHA and EPA, were mostly helpful for brain fog. Increasing omega-3 consumptions and decreasing omega-3 consumption had no RCT evidence shown thereof. So this would be a great thing to bring up to my doctor and potentially start to supplement with based on their advice. So this is a research tool. These are not suggestions or recommendations in any capacity. These are tools for you to find very up-to-date, often, research of people who have done something similar that you might be curious in learning about. One of the things we try to do here is separate out observational studies from this. So we're only looking for randomized clinical trials, not correlations from observational studies. So that's the application in a nutshell. That's everything that we've built to date. And I guess there are two other small things I want to mention as features. You can create profiles for loved ones, family members, or people that you are managing the health of. You could make one for your mom, and it would create a completely new account without any records uploaded, without any chat history, and you can just switch back and forth between your account and whoever's account that you're managing. Additionally, on the topic of your mom and dad, you can refer this application to people to use it, and they can use your sign-up code, and you will get free credits, and they will get even more free credits when they sign up if they sign up with your referral code. So then, other small details that you can use the application to do: you can go to settings, you can set up two-factor authentication, you can delete your account and delete all of its data, you can change your password. Additionally, you can go to the credits tab and you can buy more credits. So eventually you will run out of credits, especially if you're not referring friends, and you'll have to buy a couple more. And right now we have a pay-per-use model where you just top off your account with credits whenever you're running out. That's it. That's everything in a nutshell. That is the entire application. You know everything about every single feature that we have going on. Any last thoughts? One, if you have any questions, email me, Weston at NotADoctor.ai, or up here in the top, you can request features and book a user interview with Critch and I. Critch is the CEO, and we would love to hear from you. And that's about everything. Until next time.